I didn't plan on walking into a strip club that night. I planned on falling asleep on my couch with leftover takeout. One sock on, ESPN mumbling in the background like a distant lawnmower. But my guys from the shop insisted. Come on, eh? Mario said, leaning on my cubicle wall like a door hanger. You've been married to your job. Let's clock out of despair and clock into whatever this is. He opened his arms at the fluorescent ceiling, as if the answer might crawl out of the ductwork. 3 years earlier, my wife, ex-wife now, left a note on the kitchen table next to a half-eaten apple and the garage door opener. The note said, I can't do this schedule. I need someone present. I need care, not just mortgage payments. It wasn't angry. That almost made it worse. Like I'd been fired by HR with a polite smile. I called her once, then twice, then stopped before I turned into a robocaller with feelings. Life settled into a loop. Early shift at the distribution center, coffee strong enough to stand a spoon upright, quick jokes with the warehouse crew, traffic, late afternoons fixing things at home, reheating dinner, sleeping badly. Not tragic, just gray. I drove a dented Ford the first kept promising to clean. I watched baseball out of habit more than hope. I was the guy who could tell you which aisle the drywall anchors were on, but couldn't tell you the last time he said yes to anything spontaneous. So that Friday, I said yes. We ended up in a place off the service road, next to a tire shop and an insurance agent with a smiling dog on the billboard. Neon cursive on the door, Crimson Fox. Inside, the air was a mix of cologne, dryer sheets, and the kind of confidence that could be rented by the song. Music thumped at a volume that suggested the speakers had opinions. 2 beers, Mario told the bartender. Foam is extra, right? She didn't smile. He slid a Costa my way. Relax, he said. We'll judge everyone equally. Guys sat along the stage with the same slack expressions you see in waiting rooms. Only here the magazines danced and had stage names. The floor was sticky in a way that made me think of spilled soda and shoe polish. I tried to pretend I was just there to laugh at the absurdity, to be the old me who could find humor in dead car batteries. Then she walked out under the lights. At first my brain filed her under familiar stranger. I clocked the hair, darker than before. The walk, more deliberate. The smile that didn't reach her eyes. Then it hit like a Ms. Thrown fastball. Allison. My Allison. On stage in heels that looked like they'd set off airport metal detectors. She bent toward a heavy-set guy in a golf shirt, and he handed her singles, one after another, with a patient, almost comic rhythm. Chew, chew, chew. Like he was feeding pigeons. The room tilted. My beer tasted like cardboard. Mario leaned in. You good? That's Allison, I said, and the name dragged out of me like a box too heavy for one person. He followed my stare, blinked, then blinked again. No way. I didn't throw up, cry, or storm out. I watched because I didn't know what else to do. She turned, hair sweeping, and I'd have sworn she looked right through me. She didn't. Why would she? We were strangers who knew each other's favorite takeout order. Let's go, Mario said, suddenly sober. No, I heard myself say. I need to talk to her. He winced but didn't argue. He knew what it's like when a thought starts steering the car. The hostess, sharp bob, clipboard, voice like an automated menu, asked what we wanted. I pointed at Allison without saying her name. A private dance with her. 3 songs minimum, the hostess said. You know the rules. No touching, no photos, no being weird. What counts as weird? You'll know it when you do it, she said. Cash or card? Card. My hand shook just enough for the chip reader to think it was a theft. I steadied it. Approved. The private room was a dark booth with a small couch that had seen more lives than a cat. Blue light washed everything the color of a bruise. The music out here was muffled, like it had to file paperwork to cross the hallway. Set. I could have run. I could have written a long email and deleted it. But I stay because sometimes the only way out is through. The curtain parted. She stepped in like she'd seen every version of this scene, and none of them mattered. Then she saw me, and the script dissolved. Nate, she said. No stage voice. Just my name, careful and small. Hey, I said, because what else do you say in a room designed for every sentence to be a transaction? She stayed by the doorway, like the carpet might be lava. You can't be here. I'm already here. She looked back toward the hallway. You booked this. Yeah. This is highly irregular. I'm a highly irregular guy. It came out like a joke, but landed like a cough. I'm not here to cause a scene. Could have fooled me, she said, catching her breath. Do you want me to get someone else? There are rules. I just want to talk. That's not what this room is for. She gestured around, a slow circle like Vanna White introducing a category called bad ideas. I know. 3 songs, no touching, no photos, no being weird. I heard the hostess in my voice. I'll pay for the time. You can sit over there. Just talk to me. Please. She waited. Then she closed the curtain fully and sat on the far end of the couch, hands folded like she'd sworn in. The lighting made her look younger and older at the same time. You look different, I said. Everyone does under blue light, she said. A beat. You look tired. That's brand consistency. Silence settled, thick enough to slice. I realized I'd rehearsed 1,000 speeches while mowing the lawn, and now all I had was static. So, I said, this is the care and love you wanted? It came out flatter than I intended, like a line left in the sun. Her face didn't crumple. It locked. Then, to my surprise, she laughed. Not a happy laugh. More like a tiny leak in a tire. That's the line you've been saving. It sounded better in my head. Most things do. Outside, a bass line rolled like a distant thunderstorm. Inside, the couch groaned when I shifted, as if it had opinions. We sat in that ridiculous blue, 2 people who used to argue about which trash day was recycling. I didn't leave because you worked hard, she said finally. I left because you built a life that didn't have room for me in it. Not really. I thought I was building it for us, I said. You built it for future us. There was no present us. She looked at her hands. You were like a landlord who kept improving the building I wasn't allowed to live in. That's dramatic. It's also accurate. I gave you everything I had, I said, then immediately hated the sentence. It sounded like a receipt. You gave money in tired nods, she said, not unkindly. You paid bills like a champ. You never asked how my day was until your toothbrush was in your mouth and half your brain was in bed. You weren't cruel. You were absent. And then I became absent on purpose. I swallowed. And this is a job, she said. Like yours, only with worse lighting. You could do anything. So could you. She lifted an eyebrow. But here we are. People do what they can with the hours they have. Mine didn't work with 9 to 5 and a golden retriever calendar. I didn't want a calendar, I said. You wanted the idea of stability, she said. So did I once. Until the idea started feeling like a waiting room. That guy out there, I said, nodding toward the stage we couldn't see, he was paying for 3 minutes where the world doesn't expect anything from him except eye contact and a tip, she said. It's not noble. It's not tragic. It's a transaction with polite lighting. I'll let that sit. Did you ever think to call me? About what? Anything. I thought about calling when I knew you were still awake, she said. Then I thought about you picking up with your work voice and I put the phone down. Not because I hated you, because I didn't want to hear you try to fix my day with bullet points. We both smiled at that, a tired little bridge. How long have you been here? I asked. Long enough to know the regulars' shoe sizes and the DJ's favorite sandwich, she said. Not long enough to pretend I love it. It pays the bills I have now. It lets me be home when I choose. Are you okay? I'm functional, she said. Are you? I'm steady. Not exactly thriving. Steady isn't a crime. I still make the bed on your side first, I said, then regretted giving that piece away for free. She stared at the floor. I still buy that marinade you like out of habit, she said. Then I put it back because what am I doing? We both laughed again, the kind of laugh people have when they recognize themselves in each other and wish they didn't. The music changed keys like the building had shifted. The curtain trembled with footsteps outside. She glanced at it. I didn't come here to shame you, I said, softer. I came because seeing you out there, I felt like a guy who missed a turn 3 years ago and suddenly recognized the exit sign. I wanted to say something I should have said then. What's that? I should have stopped working late. I should have learned your days, not just our bills. I should have been present while we were still us, not after the fact like a rerun. She took that in with a long breath. That would have been nice, she said. But we can't patch the past with hypothetical kindness. Is there something you need from me now? I asked. It sounded formal coming out, but I meant it. I need you to not make this moment heavy, she said. It already weighs enough. I need to get through my shift. I need to pay rent. I need to believe we were two decent people who made choices that didn't line up. We were decent, I said. For the most part, she said, a small smile. A knock on the frame. The curtain shifted. 1 minute, she called. I stood, then sat back down, then stood again because my body hadn't gotten a memo. Can I leave you something? I asked, pulling out my wallet. Not as you know. As a person who used to buy marinade. She had the money, then me. You already paid for the time, she said. I know. I pulled out a folded photo I kept tucked behind my gym card. It was from a county fair. Me in a Braves cap, her in a sun hat, our fingers sticky with funnel cake. We were both laughing at something off camera, probably the goat that tried to eat my shoelace. I held it out. I carry it too much. She took it carefully. You sure? I'll remember it without the paper, I said. Besides, my wallet's lighter than my brain. She smiled at the goat in the corner of the frame. I forgot that goat. It had taste. We stood there, two people, one ridiculous room. She folded the photo and slid it into her bag. Take care of yourself, Nate. You too, Allison. And maybe try saying yes to more things that are on your time card, she added. Even small ones. Order the special. Sit on your porch for no reason. Call your sister back. I will, I said, because for once I meant it enough to say it out loud. She opened the curtain. The hallway noise swelled. You should leave out the side, she said. Less awkward for everyone. Less awkward is my love language, I said, and she rolled her eyes just a little the old way, which felt like someone opened a window. Back at the bar, Mario looked like he'd been holding his breath for a song and a half. Well, we talked, and that's enough, I said. I put enough cash down for both beers and the bartender's patience. Outside, the night smelled like asphalt cooling. The tire shop sign blinked. The dog on the insurance billboard kept smiling like he knew something about deductibles and forgiveness. We stood there with the sound of traffic sliding by. You okay? Mario asked. I'm clearer, I said. That's as close to okay as I need right now. He tossed me the keys. You drive. I'm emotionally spent from not saying dumb things. We pulled onto the service road. I kept it under the limit for once. The stadium was lit in the distance, a game just ending, tail lights lining up like beads. The radio found a station playing old rock that didn't try too hard. Next time, Mario said, we hit a diner. Pancakes are safer. Pancakes are honest, I said. They show up. They're warm. They don't pretend to be salad. He laughed. There he is. At home. I took the long way to my apartment. Past the park where the lights stay on after dark for softball leagues with mismatched jerseys. Guys my age still swung like the majors might call tomorrow. I parked the Ford, sat a minute, then turned the key again and drove to the grocery store because for no good reason I wanted oranges and decent coffee. I grabbed both. I grabbed pancake mix too. The cashier said, big plans? Try new ones, I said. Back home, I made a short list and left it by the kettle. Call Sarah back. Walk during lunch. Take the lawn chair out front. Say yes when it costs nothing. It wasn't much, but it was a map I could start with. I poured myself water, stood by the window, and listened to the night breathe. My phone buzzed. Mario, a dumb meme about goats. I laughed, saved it, and, without ceremony, put my wallet on the counter. The photo was gone. The memory wasn't. I didn't text Allison. I didn't draft anything. I didn't make a speech to the ceiling. I washed the dishes from breakfast and set out a clean mug. Somewhere, the Braves lost in extra innings. Somewhere, the Crimson Fox powered down its lights. And me? I stood there in my kitchen, not fixed, not broken, just present. For once, that felt like enough.